Yo, you're watching Yo Axis, and this is Cassio D Nova chilling with Mandie Mafu. None other than the digital Sangoma. I want to know about that because I didn't know about that, man.
Well, how's the people? Yeah, the digital song. You want to know about
I want to know about the digital Sangoma because I never knew about that, man.
basically that's my other alias, as a producer, and I think what you saw was a project that's on the go actually. Was planning to release it in September because of certain issues. So we are actually on the process of working on the project. I'm busy as a producer because behind that I'm the man behind the beats, production, and if we have to go and produce and play, so I'll be the guy behind the decks and making sure that we produce a good show. So basically, what it is, it's a collaborative effort between me and other artists around the country.
And a lot of people don't know you're actually a qualified sound engineer. Like a lot of people don't know that. Can you just get into that? Like you went to Cape Audio, right?
Yeah,
It's Cape Audio.
I studied at Cape Audio College. I did sound engineering there, and right after that, I did a short course in electronic music programming, which was based on Ableton Live, which is a software that I use. As you can see there, that's what I use for my production and my performances. And yeah, that's what it is.
And man, this guy creates on the spot. Like it's truly amazing. I don't know how you do that. Like I know a lot of people can do that, especially just on the spot. You saw Seven Colors was on the spot. Like he just did that like on the spot. Tell me, did you Seven Colors? And I get. Let's explain Seven Colors first if they don't know.
I didn't even know that the track existed up until today. We just sat down and just gave me a concept. Because we're talking about how things are back at home when we're growing up. On Sunday, that's when you have to cook and making sure that you got all your seven colors. You got your spinach, you got your beetroot, you got your carrot, and they're all there laid out.
Potato salad.
Yeah, that's what we call it. What you call full course meal.
Yeah, full course meal.
With all the seven colors. So spontaneously, we just did the track as I was just doing a demonstration on how I actually come up with my music. And it turns out to be seven color tune.
Yeah, man, and you saw it live happen. So, man, that's amazing. Tell me, did you always have that? Were you always a creative kid? Like when you grew up, did you always like have that music in you in terms of like creating? Were you guys involved in like musical projects? Or?
Yeah, I think I always had that. I remember telling my brother growing up that he should buy me a guitar, even if it's a toy, because I was listening to Lucky Dube that morning, and just told him, you know what, I really want to do this, and if you can get me even if a plastic guitar, then I can start jamming. But fortunately, that never really happened. So then I started with dance, and then with that, I had a crew back in the village where I grew up, and from there, then boom, the music has always been there. It's what moves me.
And I'm just curious, what was the name of your crew? I had to ask, right? I had to ask.
It was called BBKJs.
BBKJs.
Yeah.
You gotta break it down.
Bad Boy Kwaito Junkies.
This was back in the day when Kwaito was like up there, I'm sure. So Mendoza.
Zola, Athama Fukachen was a very big, yeah, TKZ, Trumpis. I was a very big fan of Mendoza, man, back in the day. I guess everybody wanted to be like him, so that influenced my dance as well. Cause they did a lot of b-boying, and so from there,
Did you have that deep voice in Kalagata?
try to put it on, but it never comes.
Yeah, you can't fake that. You gotta.
You can never do that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's something that comes up naturally. But I did try my luck. Good at it. But
Didn't work out. And tell me, in terms of growing up, you grew up in the Eastern Cape, right? What was it like growing up in the Eastern Cape?
it was good, man. It was is good. As a kid, growing up in the village, you get satisfied with what you have, because you're not really aware of what's happening outside what you have. And I had some good friends growing up, and I mean the environment there was really good. There's not much I can say about it. It's just it made me the person that I am. I can't see myself being a different. If it wasn't for where I grew up, obviously I wouldn't. I don't know, but it was good. It was good.
And tell me why Cape Town? Because most artists were like Joburg, you know. Why Cape Town?
Uh, yeah, that wasn't by choice, but Cape Town's a beautiful city, man, and there's a lot happening, and culturally it's very cosmopolitan. There's a lot of diversity, and I think that as an artist, you need, because experiencing all these different cultures, it actually add more into your creativity some way, somewhat, and that is that's why I don't think I'll ever leave Cape Town. I mean, Joburg is good, not.
Never leave that. That's a big statement, guys.
No, but if I leave Cape Town, I'll rather go to another African state. I'm not gonna go to a first world.
The thing is, I know it's not about money because most people move to Joburg because of money, and a lot of artists fall for that trap. Then it doesn't work out. So like,
I think financially it does work out for some people, but for some it doesn't. But I think with the world now it's becoming so small, and it doesn't matter where you are based, geographically. So you can make it if like with technology now, we're just using your mobile phone. What we're doing here, and we did something interesting. Somebody sees it. With people like you, obviously, like because you're opening all these platforms, it's all access. So you see it from the backyard where if you look at what's happening in West and East Africa, you see stories that you've never seen before, and that's exciting. And it's just a matter of just using your mobile device and just have something that's off that has a very nice, interesting story, it's telling an interesting story, and it's not a matter of where you're located, man. It's just if you have resources, or with the resources that you have, you're able to actually create something that people will relate to, or people will be excited for. And as Africans, we're in a very good time, and this is our time in terms of telling our stories to the world, and I'm very happy to be part of this industry.
we happy in the industry, man, because like you special in terms of creating and what you do. Like it's important. Like you're actually one of the most important artists in this country in terms of the way you do stuff and just create, you know. And I don't know if you know that, but tell us about Turn Up, man. Turn Up for Local. Just tell people about.
Before I get into that, but thank you for that, though. It feels very. I feel very honored to be recognized. I just do my best, I guess it's because of the access that I have and the toys that I use, and I think anyone that loves something and happen to have access to the right tools to actually do it can actually do or can be even better than me. But I happen to be, but I really do appreciate that. It's truly humbling. Yeah, but talking about Tenor for Local, that's it's an initiative that I started with a partner of mine. Basically, what it does, it gives a platform to local talent, across the spectrum. Whether you're into music, whether you're into photography, whether you're into fashion, or whatever it is that you do. So that's what we actually. It's a platform that's created. But when it comes to music, what we do, we invite artists, because what happens, we get a lot of musicians, especially in Cape Town. I'll talk about Cape Town. That comes to us, or whenever we talk to them, man, we don't get booked in Cape Town, and when we do get booked, we don't get paid. They tell us it's a way to get exposure, but exposure doesn't pay for the guests, that you have to take a taxi to go and doesn't pay for drinks and it doesn't get you any new shoes, you know. So basically, what Turn Up for Local is trying to eliminate that. So what we do with the artists, we sit down and say, okay, let's do this. Let's put together an event. So we're gonna team up, and obviously we then divide the what you call it the duties or whatever accordingly, and so according to that, then we can split the profit of whatever we make. So everybody goes home happy. And when you are actually working, so that it motivates artists to actually work on the events, because what often happens, I can understand from a promoter's point of view, because they invest a lot of money on putting together these events, and if somebody is not gonna bring the crowd and nobody knows you, nobody cares. That's the fact. Nobody knows me, nobody cares. You know, until I get something that resonates with people, and until then, so that means I have to really, really work hard to actually make sure that I convince people like my stuff, and not only that, but also make sure that I do these interactive campaigns that will get people to come and support me. So that's part of Turn Up for Local. So we're trying to make sure that artists that are coming on board, they know that you have to work for yourself for you to make something out of this. If you want something sustainable, you want to have a substantial amount of income, you know, you really have to sweat. And so that's what we're trying to motivate.
I think a lot of artists don't get that. Like, you gotta work for it. Like, you can't just like talent. You can be talented, but like you gotta put in the work. Like, you gotta grind, and it is a business too. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, you gotta protect yourself, and you need the. I remember I think the first time I met you, we got into a debate about what was it? I think copyrights when it comes to rhythms and beats and stuff like that. Like, and I was like, these guys know what they're doing in terms of that. If you can just touch briefly on like protecting yourself and all that.
I mean, all I can say is that as an artist or anyone that wants to get into any business, it's very important that you invest in yourself. What do I mean by that is if you into music industry, make sure that you know your copyright, you know your publishing rights, you know everything that has to. So when you get somebody that comes in as a manager, so you actually tell them what to do rather than sitting, because that's what happens with most artists. Like, for instance, for myself, I don't have a manager or anything like that, but I made sure that I invested enough time to actually know. I'm still learning, you know. So when that opportunity comes, or when somebody comes and say, listen, I want to manage you, I want to represent you, so then I'm not just sitting behind and let somebody decide on what to do with my business, because it's a brand that I've created and I've worked so hard to actually get it to where it is. So just leaving or giving all that power to someone, and because you can't really it's a cutthroat industry, you know. You have to really know your business, and if you don't, then you're gonna end up losing, and you're gonna end up blaming people, saying, they're stealing my money, but you haven't really invested in it yourself. So if we talk about publishing, it's going to take all day. If we talk about copyright, so, but what I can say, the information is there. You know, people have to invest in themselves and just get it.